Growing up, Mal was more than just my favorite and closest first cousin. He was my best friend. We were just 9 months apart. In later years, I always kidded him that he owed his life to me. We were inseparable, even after his family moved out of Brooklyn to Elmont and my family remained in Brooklyn. We had lots of sleepovers, but mainly stayed up all night. We played football outside his house, in the street, and horse, which is a basketball game, in his backyard. We snuck into the New York World's Fair together and went to Met games at Shea Stadium. We spent many childhood summers together at sleepaway camp in New Hampshire and had a blast, too many times getting into trouble. Up until the age of 13 or 14, we were about the same height, but then one year he grew about 4 or 5 inches and towered over me. I never caught up. In the summer of 1974, to celebrate our respective college graduations, we flew to the West Coast, then rented a car and explored California and parts of Nevada. We drove up the Pacific Coast Highway. We had no advanced hotel reservations. We just winged it. But we had a great time. We went hiking at Mammoth Mountain, boating on Lake Tahoe. We went to the Hearst Castle, and we just had a lot of fun. Such great memories. Later, living in different parts of the country, having our own families, it wasn't as easy to stay close. About 15 years ago, Mal stayed with us when he gave a lecture in Philly. I attended the course as his guest. I was so proud of him. In 2011, he and Holly attended my oldest daughter's wedding in Northern Virginia, and that was the last time that I saw Mal. I only have good memories of Mal. We were a great team. He called me Cuz. I love that. I'll miss you, Mal. May you rest in peace.
Of a captive bird that was there.
I knew Mal Goldsmith primarily through professional associations and my tenure when I was executive director of the American School Health Association. Mal was a fixture at the American School Health Association conferences. You could always find him holding court with friends and colleagues, as well as with students, past and future and present. And yet he was also somebody who was very dedicated to the profession and willing to help out wherever he could. He served the American School Health Association in many roles. He chaired the nominating committee, he chaired the conference program planning committee, he chaired the awards committee, and was a member of many other of our groups. He even served on the board multiple times and was elected president-elect. He never served as president because he resigned that position only to take on another professional duty, that of interim executive director of the American Association for Health Education, another professional association. That showed his dedication and his commitment. He didn't want to have any conflicts of interest by having both roles. He was a dedicated professional and always had a smile and always willing to help out.
And last till the end of time, my love.
Hi, Holly. Hi, Sierra. I am just so sorry that this has to take place. I knew it was eventually going to take place, but you always say, no, it's not going to happen. He was a great brother. He was the youngest, so he got away with being the youngest. He got away with murder, okay? But he also got beat up by his other brothers who lived in this upstairs with him. His biggest love was, number one, the Baltimore Colts, Johnny Unitas quarterback. He had posters all over the place. And my brother and I would kind of rip them off, and he'd get crazy, and we'd fight, but thank God there was no blood. But that was his number one love. His number two love naturally was his favorite number, which was always number 8. And I will always remember that number no matter where I play something. I will keep that in the back of my head because 8 was his lucky number. And last but not least, I have to say, I know Mal was a health advisor and taught people how to eat properly and eat the right things. But when he came with me, he was a junk food eater. He loved his devil dogs. He loved his Twinkies. He loved all the foods that, you're not supposed to eat, but you want to know something? It didn't make him a bad person. And we always laughed about it. Eating healthy, what that word, it wasn't in my vocabulary, probably never will be. Um, but anyway, I love him. I do miss him. I miss his humor, talking and just being on the phone when we called years ago for birthdays or celebrations or whatever. And I know it's very, very sad because on top of everything else, you have an anniversary coming up on the 8th of June, and I remember your wedding like it was yesterday. Um, you know, you just go to bed sometimes and you say at night, why? Why do they take the good people? Never figure it out. But I will miss him. And Holly, God bless you. You've been an absolute saint all these years. All these years you've been so helpful, so understanding, so upbeat. And God bless you. And we have to stay in touch. And we have to, when you come to Sanibel, we will get together. What more can I say? And thank God for your mom and your sister and all the ones who supported Mal in helping in every which way. It's just unbelievable. God bless you, and please take care. Love, Steve.
Keep your head together and call my name out loud.
We are here to celebrate the life of Mal. My name's Steve Garland. I met Mal on Halloween night in 1978. I'm at a party, and over to my right, I hear some guy talking about the Three Stooges and mentioning some lines from the Three Stooges. So I'm thinking, this has got to be a pretty intelligent and smart guy. Well, we just so happened to start talking then, and we hit it off and became pretty good friends. We were both involved with a lot of sports. We played softball together, played a lot of golf. We'd go to the football Cardinal games. We had Rams season tickets. And we do all the, all-night Risk activities. We loved board game of Risk and other type of video games. And about once a month, we'd play cards. Well, he had trouble winning this one rummy game that we would play at the house. And one night, our aunt came over, and she had a square dancing dress. And Mal said, if I win at cards, I'll wear that dress. Well, I couldn't let that go by. So we kind of rigged it up where we'd make sure that he won. And he did. He wore that dress that night, and here's what he looks like in that dress. And we just so happened to make some cards out of it. Here he is here, and there's the cards with his picture on it. But we had a lot of fun together, and he will be missed. But he gave us all lifetime memories. Rest in peace, my friend.
Hey, now all you've got to do is call. Lord, I'll be there, yes I will. Know you've got a friend.
Hi, this is Mal's cousin Kip from California. I wanted to share a memory of my childhood with Mal. My mother and I and my sister Abby and my brother Dory were visiting Aunt Sylvia and Uncle Si at their house in Elmont. This is in the mid-60s. I'm probably maybe 11 years old, and Mal's about a year and a half older than me. And my sister's about Mal's age. Anyway, we're all in the kitchen at their house. You know, the one where they have that little thing on the wall about who's in the doghouse. Lonnie and Steve will remember that. And, Mal and my sister are missing. and we're like asking, where are they? Nobody knows where they are. And someone goes downstairs in the basement. They had this fabulous basement with a pinball machine, I remember, which was a lot of fun. And there's Mal making out with my sister. And so he comes upstairs, and someone says, Mal, what the hell are you doing? And he says, I'm teaching the facts of life to Abby, which was like pretty hilarious. So I don't know if Lonnie and Steve were there. If they do, I don't know if they remember that. They should have been there because that was their house. Anyway, we just wanted to share that little gem of a story about Mal. And also wanted to read this note that Uncle Morty sent me. He said, Kip, if you know how to send a message, please include me saying how much I loved Mal and I will miss him. I just could not understand how to make the video. Thank you. So there's my uncle's sentiments. And I just want to say I too will miss Mal. I haven't seen him too much in our later years, but I'll never forget him. And I send my love to Sierra and to Holly. Okay, that's it. Bye.
It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here.
Holly, Sierra, fellow friends of Mal, thanks for the opportunity to share a few thoughts and remembrances of my longtime friend and colleague. I start with a short story on how the two of us met and became lifelong friends, with apologies to our non-academic friends who might not truly appreciate my short story. But I first met Mal in the fall of 1978. It was our first professional conference since receiving our doctorates, and we were two young, eager professionals ready to make our mark in the health education field. As I recall it, it was the American School Health Association annual meeting at Hyatt Regency Hotel in Dearborn, Michigan, and Mal and I were riding up an escalator when his eyes glanced over at my name tag, and Mal exclaims, "Hey, you're Nicholas Imerino. I cited you in my dissertation." Of course, my head swelled to think that someone had actually read my thesis. But more important thing is that this was the beginning of a long friendship that lasted over 40 years. Mal would become my semi-annual roommate at every conference throughout our entire career. We were both non-snorers. Our friendship and our work together would eventually take us all over the world, including a multi-year project in Sakhalin Island in Far East Russia, and most recently a travel study course in the United Kingdom. But when I think about the person and professional, Mal Goldsmith has three important qualities that come to mind. Mal was not only a consummate teacher, but he was a mentor. He touched so many students' lives in his career at SIUE. He not only taught them, but cared for them as young people who were in need of someone to guide and direct them in their future career path. Mal was also a professional who was dedicated to service. He was the first to raise his hand to run for elected office or otherwise serve the many groups and organizations in the health education profession. All were fortunate to have Mal's leadership during his career. Mal was never a stranger. He touched so many lives with his warm smile and engaging demeanor. With his gentle but thoughtful approach to solving complex issues, the profession grew and flourished because Mal built bridges rather than walls. We've lost a true friend, a husband, a father way too early. And we're all deeply saddened by your passing, Mal, but we know you're in a better place. I hope to see you on the other side, my friend. Rest in peace.
Mal was a mentor and changed my life for the better. I am where I am today because of him. He helped push me to attend Indiana University for my master's in health promotion after graduating SIUE. Then, at Indiana, with his many connections, helped land me an internship with Advocates for Youth in Washington, D.C. He was always pushing me to achieve my dreams. He will be greatly missed. I am Dr. Linda Sinovitz from Hammond, Louisiana, and I have known Dr. Mal Goldsmith for a very long time. My first impression of Mal was formed when I met him at American School Health Association in the early 80s, perhaps the Dallas Convention. Mal was one of the first professional people I met as a newbie at ASHA, and he was extremely friendly, supportive, and kind. He was a great mentor to all of us, young and old. On the personal side, Mal was funny and had so much energy. In my mind, I can see him walking into meetings and going out for dinner with his friends, and especially his best buddy during those years, Nicholas. My late husband, Robert, was a mentor to Mal and loved him very much. I'm just sorry that Mal has passed at such a young age. Yes, in my world, 68 is quite young. My heartfelt sympathies to his family. Rest in peace, Mal.
We were moved by your thoughtful conveyance of the news about the death of Mal's body. Holly had kept us informed, so it was not a surprise. In fact, we experienced a sense of relief. The chapter of struggle and challenging home care has ended, and with the turning of that page, a new chapter can begin. The flow of memories floods us with gratitude and admiration for the steady, sure, and compassionate caregiving that Holly and her supporters provided. The circle of concern focused without faltering on Mal's dignity, in terms of the ancient Hebrew Bible, his eternal dignity. While human experience is an artistic creation, reflecting the reality that a human being is a vibrant, growing sculpture composed of tangible earthly dust, in Hebrew, Adam, and invisible spirit, in Hebrew, Ruach, the who that we are is a reflection of the mysterious source of creation and love, which energizes the process of universal reality. In Hebrew, nefesh, or in Yiddish, mensch. That eternal dignity is greater than the sum of its parts and unable to be measured or contained in time and space. The love with which Holly and those who cared for Mal is also an affirmation of a quality that is eternal, a palpable force always available to those who remember and those who hope. A celebration of Mal's life should include all the feelings his passing has evoked. A memorial of his personal dignity should welcome also the feelings of gratitude sparked by many recollections, even if unspoken and noted quietly in private as the days of the future come and go. In a book written in 2016 by James A. Lindsay entitled Life in Light of Death, a series of questions are listed which, when we think of Mal, can all be answered enthusiastically. What matters? Did I make time for my passions? Yes. Did I connect with the people who make my life worth sharing? Yes. Did I give and receive love while I could? Yes. Did I do good or cause unnecessary hurt? I did good. Did I waste my time or live it well? I lived it well.
Hi, this is David Wiley. I am from Austin, Texas. However, I'm in beautiful Hawaii tonight recording this video remembering my good friend Mal. I know that Ollie and Mal really loved Hawaii, so I thought it was somewhat appropriate that I heard the tragic news of his passing while I was on my way out here yesterday. But I do want to tell you a few things. First of all, obviously, my condolences to the entire family. Mal was a great guy, did a lot for the profession, helped so many students in their careers, and was just a good guy. I graduated from the University of Texas with my PhD in 1988, and Mal offered me a job at SIU Edwardsville, and I didn't take the job, but we became good friends after that. A few years ago, he wanted to see a high school football game in the state of Texas. He'd never seen one before. And he came to my house, spent the night with me, and we went to a high school football game at the high school next door to my subdivision, and he couldn't quit talking about it. he came down a day early to actually do a presentation for our faculty and students, and the room was packed with everyone listening to what he had to say. I was out here in Hawaii back in December of 2020 and was on the Big Island, and Nick Amarino and I connected, and Nick told me how Mal's condition had deteriorated over the past few years, and we actually met for a beer and called Mal and talked with him for a few minutes. I don't know if he remembered who I was or not, because I could tell he was really struggling, but it was really nice to hear his voice, not knowing that would be the last time I heard from him. But I do want to tell you this: he is a wonderful human being. He meant the world to a lot of people. I am so sorry that he has had to go through the misery that he's gone through the last few years. But I do know he's in a better place. And as you guys know, in Hawaii, aloha means hello and goodbye. And to my good friend, as the sun sets here in Honolulu, I say aloha.
Until